Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Gravendale story arc.
Mini arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, um, a quick little recap.
Oh,
Several of the party members have gathered together to search for some lost loved ones, which found out were kidnapped by a gang of goblinoids led by a couple of horrible Bargus demony things. Um, to be sold off into slavery because that's always shitty, and managed to defeat the home base and meet up with Ekris actually in the combat to take down the this smuggling den of slavers. However, a group of the slavers and a ship had escaped and sailed off while you were trying to sort of barricade yourselves in and rest for the next wave of combat. Um, and so, and then we're ultimately in pursuit. And managed to book some passage to the Badlands, which is a continent far to the south, in which the possibility, as far as where these slavers may have taken their ill-gotten gains, aka people. And so you purchase passage aboard a ship, the Belladonna, captained by a foppish Captain Giuseppe, and proceeded to make your way to the southern Badlands, the continent that is referred to as the Badlands. And Fuelin was getting Fenrir in trouble. And Saral was...
I mean, not on purpose.
And
I still think
Saral
everyone is
was
overreacting.
making sure that Fuelin understood the repercussions of such things, but
I mean, I told them how they could clear his name, but apparently no. They wanted him to think that there was him doing it.
But ultimately, we're able to kind of negotiate a truce and for a resolution for everybody involved. And for a couple of days, it was relatively smooth sailing, pun intended, until all of a sudden a what looked to be a shark flew out of the water, biting one of the crew members nearly in half. But the shark didn't seem to retreat, and as you got a better look, realized that it was not a shark, but in fact an undead sharken bear. And I did post a picture in the G-chat if you'd be willing to share that for our viewers there, Mr. Bear.
Oh, it's up.
I still don't think this is something that should exist.
Well, then it's probably good that we would need everybody to roll an ish so that you can try and take care of such things.
Bear with sharks for arms.
No.
Go ahead and roll an ish. I would also like to double check who is I know Kai mentioned because of being a bigger gentleman trying to stay on deck probably as much as possible, so I know you're up on top. Who else would think that they were would be on deck as opposed to necessarily down in the...
Ludema would be, because she'd be entertaining and dancing around, interacting with the crew.
Okay.
No, I did already say that Foylan was basically going to be spending like 99% of his time in his room as a dog or wolf.
Okay.
Sorrel's probably hanging out with Kai when she's not hanging out with Fenrir. So
Okay.
I'm guessing she's up top right now because she's not in the mood to see anybody furry at the moment.
And then question, were there injured persons on the ship prior to the start of this session, since I had to miss the last one? Not necessarily within the party, but just on the ship in general.
No, you should have a full rest.
Okay, cool. So then I guess, what time of day does this attack happen?
It's about midday.
Okay, then Ekros would be on deck too.
Okay. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit closer. Oh, that was the
I should
wrong
maybe
way.
pull up the map on the stream, huh?
Oh, you know, just maybe.
Got it.
There we go. Okay. So, Foylan, you're below decks currently. So just to give you an idea, and I realize the small black lines probably don't help as much here, but there is... so this area here is the main deck. And I just put a 15-foot thing as compared to the water level out off the ship. The foredeck, these staircases go up. There are 2 doors here, which I realize might be a little bit hard to see. This green area here is basically the removable deck plates that they would use to drop cargo into the cargo hold. And then they have, there's 2 doors here. There's a set of stairs that go up here and here. This is kind of like a gunnery deck where they actually have a catapult, a small catapult. There's also a couple of doors that go into the captain's quarters. And then the poop deck, which is up here with the steering wheel and whatnot. They do have a couple of ballistas. I'm going to say, for intents and purposes, Ladema, you're going to be on the gunnery deck for right now. And then Kai, we'll say you and Saral are up on the foredeck. And then Ladema, where would you like to be as far as you singing?
You currently have me.
Right now you're. Oh, that's right. Never mind. I put you there. Brain fart. Sorry. The dangers of running a game at night. Brain already is tapioca. Akris, where do you think you would be?
Probably toward the middle of the ship.
Okay. Would you be on deck or would you be in your room?
Oh, on deck. I thought I said that. Yeah.
Okay.
I may have been muted on accident. I apologize.
Nope, my apologies. Now, since I don't actually have a undead shark and bear figurine, go figure.
What?
I know, right? We're just gonna use this handy bullet. Because that's a thing. And yeah, let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay. Maeve got a 20 with a +2. Oh, Ladema, sorry.
+2. Okay.
Sorrel got a 15 with an with that initiative modifier of +4.
Ekris got a 17 with a +3 modifier.
Kai got a 17 with a +1 modifier.
And Foylan got a 17 with a +2 modifier.
Why are you clumping together? Now I gotta rewrite stuff. All right, hold on a second.
Just
Hey, at
to
least
make
there
your
were no
life
ties.
challenge. It's true. There's almost ties. The modifiers
Yep.
clean it up. All right, pizza had. The world is better.
The world is always better with pizza.
I think I've eaten more pizza this last school year than I have in like ages. It's just between it being a crazy year and wife pregnant and everything, it's just
Alrighty, so
Do
then...
kids still have to sell those pizza kits as boosters?
we don't have any at our schools, no.
Oh, okay. Like we always had like the pizza kits that. I think the year after we graduated was when we finally we ate through them all.
We did the pizza kit for church when I was growing up, but we didn't do it for school.
Oh no.
I genuinely don't know if they still do that at the church because I haven't been to that church in 15 years, but
Yeah, our kids have done some different weird catalog fundraisers and stuff like that had like wrapping paper and candy kits and popcorn kits and
That's what they've switched to in our area too.
Alrighty, I believe I am ready to go. Are you guys
are
ready
we Jaegering Tink or he just
to go?
gonna
Nope,
be
Tink is gonna be out of it.
okay?
Tink is taking an afternoon nap.
Downstairs working on jewelry.
Yes, and being grumpy that the boat. Yeah, he was taking advantage of really calm seas, which has been driving everybody else nuts and making them stressed, but it's been giving him really great working conditions.
There
Yeah,
you go.
so he's
I
below
have
deck.
this image of a Tengu with earbuds in, just kind of jamming out, working with some jewelry.
hmm
That is legit a thing. Yep. I'm good with that.
This is wonderful.
And of course, then we hear one of the many voices that comes out just kind of as they go into battle. Ooh-wah!
I love it. So at the top of the round is Ludema.
I don't have my pattern.
So, I'm trying to see.
You have height.
I have height, but I don't want to touch this thing, and I don't really want to get closer.
These seem to be valid points.
That's fair.
Um,
Well, and just so you know, so this thing, I mean, it is partially in the water and is starting to kind of climb up, I should say, onto the deck. But it definitely has a decent reach, all things. Those disturbingly deadly-looking shark fists, in particular, are a thing.
okay, so what I'm thinking is it's within 120 feet, and there's nobody near it.
Well, and there are crew and stuff on deck, but they're all kind of scrambling right now for...
But they're trying to get away from it. They're not.
Yes.
Okay. So if I were to do a fireball directly at it, I should not hit any allies.
If you kind of target it on the back side of it, you should be fine to hit the
Okay.
undead shark and bear without hitting the
Crew or
anyone
ship?
else.
Okay.
I just kind of like saying undead shark and bear. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, this is going to be a normal roll, I think, right?
So, so you are casting fireball on it then?
Yes.
And I believe that is a dexterity save.
I believe so.
And what is your spell DC?
Well, I rolled it and it says
But
22.
you don't have to roll anything. It just has to roll.
Yeah,
to
you don't.
escape.
You're
it.
not rolling a spell attack. This is just the spell your spell DC.
I'll get it eventually. Hang on.
That's all right. So it's I believe it's like 8 plus your proficiency plus your, let's see, your bard, so plus your charisma modifier.
Okay, so charisma is a plus 10. Manage spells. Let me do this. Sorcerer spell. It is.
We'll win the war if you waste stuff. So he
Right.
brought home all the blank
It's
books,
not.
and they were piled around the house because we might use them someday. So, as a
I'm trying
dungeon
to find
master,
the
I was
DC on
doing
it.
what you were doing, but I was writing in
Are you
longhand
on,
frantically throughout all our play sessions at
I'm on
top
D&D
speed,
Beyond.
all over everything. Everything we did, all the names of every
Okay. I believe it's just listed at the top where it shows spell casting, but let me double check real quick here.
So I actually think if you're under your actions and then go over to spells, there's like a list of your spells, and so right next to the name should be like what action it takes, and the next one is the range, and then the next one, if there is a DC, I believe that's what the DC is. So it's like fourth column, if you will, if you're
Okay.
looking under the spells tab.
Oh, say so it's plus 5. So because
DC
it's a
13
sorcerer
looks like.
spell, so dexterity, right? It'd be a dex
Yep.
save.
Dex save. I'm looking at your sheet. It's DC 13.
DC 13.
Okay. Alrighty. So now I hate to say it, but I did roll a natural 16 on the die, so they will the shark and bear will take half damage. So go ahead and roll your fireball damage, and then let me know what your.
Well, I rolled it, and let me. So the damage was 9. So I guess half would be 4.
Yeah. It was only 9 damage. Okay.
When I rolled it, yeah.
Dang it, roll 20. I mean, D&D Beyond.
I probably would have done better with physical dice, but I in my moving things around in the past week, I kind of buried my dice.
That's fair. That's fair. So admittedly, I mean, this thing, you smell just this as this thing kind of hauls itself up to the deck, and you lay out a fireball, and you get this smell of singed fur and oddly slightly cooked fish, and but also just this stench of decay. And you realize that, being that it just kind of came out of the water, the fireball seemed to roll off of it quite a bit more than what you would have expected a fireball to do. And then now that was your action. Did you want to do anything with like your move or your bonus?
Let me look. Who's next?
As far as for the party,
Yes.
Well, it's kind of a fight between Ekris, Foylan, and Kai. They all had 17s, but
Okay, but are they within 60 feet of me?
yeah, everybody but everybody but Foylan, who's below
Right.
Dex right now, and it's not that but he is technically within 60 feet. It's just that you don't have
Not line of sight, though.
sight to him.
Okay,
But
so
pretty much everyone else you do see.
then I'm going to give Bardic Inspiration to whoever is next.
Okay, so that would be, if you wanted, that'd be Ekris.
Okay.
Okay. And is that it for your turn?
Yes, it is.
Then it is the undead Sharkenbear.
Still not a thing.
I love saying that. All right, so right. So it heaves itself up onto the deck. And actually is going to move one more forward and is going to make a bite attack at Ekris.
Yay.
I suppose now that he's on the deck, I can scoot this down just a little bit.
Now, is he making a bite attack with the bear part or one of the shark parts?
With the bear part, and then it's making 2 shark fist attacks, one on Ludema, and the other one is going to be on Kai.
Yeesh.
So, starting with the bite on Ekris. Yeah, does a 24 hit?
If I said no, would you believe me?
Probably not.
There you go. The answer is yes. Yes, it does.
So all of a sudden, this horrific monstrosity clambers on board deck, and then its grisly-sized head just chomps down on your shoulder for 10 points of piercing damage. And then it swings a sharken fist at Ludema. Does a 16 hit you? Okay. So then that... so if you thought being bit by a grizzly bear was bad, being bit with the razor sharp teeth of a shark, or in this case a sharkafist, is a bit worse, and that's actually going to be 16 piercing damage.
Okay, a shark fist is still not a thing, and ouch.
And then last, for our dear friend Kai,
I'm just going to throw this out there. Denying its existence is not making it hurt less.
Yeah, that's true. Does an 18 hit you, Kai?
Yes, it does.
Then that will also be 16 serrated shark fist damage to you as well.
Ow.
And that is its turn. Ekris, you are up with Foylan on deck.
All right. I'm going to get an attack of opportunity against me if I leave that threatened square. But it might...
If you move away from it, yes. You could move around it without provoking.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to cast Bless as a first level spell to bless the 3 other individuals on deck, excluding myself.
Okay. So just to verify, so for Kai, Saral, and Ludema.
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
So just as a refresher as to what that does, so you make an attack. Whenever you make an attack roll or a saving throw, you roll an additional D4, and you add that to your roll. And it lasts for a minute, assuming I concentrate. And yeah. Cool. After that, I think then Ekrus is going to skirt around. He only has a speed of 20, so he's gotta go to the backside of the bullet.
Okay. So if you want, you could do like 5. So if you wanted to skirt around, you could kind of go into this little corner here where the stairs and the door kind of meet.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was envisioning. Yeah.
Okay.
I was envisioning that. Let me see if I have any like bonus things I can do that aren't spells, since I've already cast a first level spell. Wait, what? I didn't know I had that. Oh, okay. I'm also going to, as a bonus action, going to summon my unicorn spirit totem.
Okay.
It has an aura of 30 feet radius, so I would hope that I could place it in the most central location possible, in order to kind of encapsulate as much of the boat surrounding this were shark bear thing.
Okay, if you wanted to, it's like 10, 20, 30. So if you were to center it kind of where my finger is,
yeah,
it would get from the bow of the ship to like there, to where my finger is.
Let's move it over like one more space to, yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, like that, because I doubt much action's gonna happen at the very tip of the thing. So, yeah.
Okay, so basically, from anyone on this deck, or for the most part the foredeck, they would be within range.
Yep. And let me just remind everyone what the unicorn totem spirit is and what it does. Pardon me. So you gain advantage on all ability checks made to detect creatures in the spirit's aura, which is kind of out of it. If you cast a spell using a spell slot that restores hit points to any creature inside or outside the aura, each creature of your choice in the aura also regains hit points equal to my druid level. So that's for me to remember mostly. I thought it was something else. That last bit was something else, but if anything else comes up and we need to do a perception check, you get advantage.
Okay.
Thus will end Ekrus' turn.
Then it is Phelan.
Does Phelan hear that there's a commotion going on up on deck?
You hear the screams, the shouting, the alarms, the alarm bell ringing. You know there's stuff going on, and then all of a sudden you hear, or you smell this waft of like rotting fish that just reeks to high heaven.
Okay, then for my bonus action, I will shift back into my human form.
Okay.
I will grab my big old axe and start running towards the top deck.
Okay, and what's your speed?
45 feet.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, actually do this for me. Go ahead and make an athletics roll.
Athletics.
And this is more for you, kind of being able to sort of maneuver or push or whatever you have to do to get past whatever panicky crew members are trying to get away from this thing?
Well, for athletics, I got a 24. Parkour.
Parkour. So you actually come up out of this door right here.
Okay.
You are within melee range of it. Because with 45 feet, I mean, the ship's not that big. Like, you can...
Sure.
Even with some of the tight quarters with 45 feet, you can get up there.
Beautiful. And if I still have my standard action, then I will attack and see it.
You do have your action, because that was just your move.
Alright, so... first attack is a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Beautiful. Oh, and a 12 on the damage die, so 16 points of slashing.
Okay, let me... Okay, good to go.
And then second attack is a 22 to hit.
That will also hit.
And that is still not bad, a 9 on the die, so another 13 points of slashing.
I like it. You make it easy math for me.
So just charging out of his room, I guess still fully naked at this point because he was just a wolf, parkouring, bobbing and weaving around these panicked crew members, and then just tears into it. Snicker snack.
And seeing this naked man with a battle axe, or with a great axe, come rushing up, bashing people aside, shoving people aside, sprinting up, screaming with this unbridled fury. Admittedly, for some of the crew members who are already a little bit afraid, seeing this confuses the shit out of them, but none of them are going to say boo nor who when they see the result of you just laying into this creature with your axe.
Excellent. And that would be all my actions, so that is my turn.
Then it is Kai.
Okay, Kai is going to, as a bonus action, enter Battle Trance. And is going to then... Am I up close enough to it at this point?
You are... so you're about 10 feet away, because you're just kind of like right here off the railing.
Okay, I see.
But I mean, 10, 15 feet of movement would get you right up next to it.
I'm going to move right up to it.
So like 15 feet would get you right there.
Perfect. I am going to, as I'm moving, draw my sword, and I'm going to whack-a-da it. I'm going to go whack-a-da, whack-a-da.
Then you thwack-a-da, thwack-a-da.
I am using the Great Weapon Master feat.
All right.
Total of 22 to hit.
22 will hit.
Okay. 22 hits, so that is going to be 21 points of damage.
Nice. It's still up. I mean, it's...
Yeah, no, it looks pretty fucking hardy, so I'm gonna assume it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
You do a deft cross across its belly, and you see its belly opens up, and you see a bunch of like dead fish,
Gross.
like spill out,
Gross.
along with some maybe rotting intestine.
Also,
And a license plate. You don't know what that is.
and a license
but,
and I think I'm going to.
Now, did you have a second?
I do. I have a second attack.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit it again.
Okay.
22 to hit it.
Funny enough, it hits again.
What? 25 points of damage.
Okay. And
was-
again, it is still up, but you definitely see some of the limbs are hanging a little more loosely or whatever from the various hits between you and Fuelan just kind of just chopping into it. And that is your turn. All right, then it is Saral.
Yay! And you can hear me good. All right. Saral is going to stay right where she is because she does not need to get any closer to this stinky ass thing. And she is going to... Yes, she is going to cast Confusion on it. I would like
Okay.
it to make a Wisdom save.
It got a 9. So.
It fails. The DC was 16. For those who don't know, the spell assaults and twists the creature's mind, spawning delusions and provoking uncontrolled action.
Question for you.
Yes.
Granted, I don't see any specific immunities on it as far as it, but does it say anything on the spell as far as being able to affect undead?
It doesn't say one way or the other. As long as it has
Okay,
a mind,
then we're good to
it
go.
can make a Wisdom save.
Nope, then we're good to go. So it is confused.
Okay, so what that means is it can't... The affected character can't take reactions.
Okay.
And at the beginning of its turn, it must roll a d10 to determine what it does.
Okay.
And I have the behavior roll chart here. There
Perfect.
is a chance for it to act normally.
Sure.
If it rolls a 9 or 10, it will behave, act, and move as it normally would. At the end of each turn, the affected target can make another Wisdom saving throw.
Gotcha.
If it succeeds, it stops.
Then the
But
confusion
people
comes.
attacking it
Okay.
has no change to it. We can still keep poking it.
Gotcha. Are you
Solid.
are you doing anything else then at this point?
Nope.
Okay. Then after Saral is the Sahagwan.
The Sahagwan?
Yeah, so there's a reason why, why this thing appeared and is attacking the ship. And that's because, unfortunately, I only have one Sahagwan mini, so I'm gonna...
Oh, good. It's an army.
But you see, all of a sudden, coming out of the water, there are several of these ugly fish folk. And, hey, they're gonna maybe throw some spears at y'all. Now, I will say, because you are higher up on the deck, you are all going to be considered to have, we'll say, half cover, which will add 2 to your AC. So, Kai, you're a big guy. We're going to say, I'll tell you what. So, we're going to toss one at Saral. That would be an 18 to hit.
Yes.
Okay,
Especially
so
because I just
that'll
realized my
be,
AC is still augmented when it shouldn't be.
So that'll be 4 piercing damage as a spear flies up and kind of clips your arm.
You said 4?
4 piercing damage.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna say 2 are gonna go after Kai because again, you're a big boy.
I accept this.
Does a 17 hit you?
With the cover bonus, no, it does not.
Okay. Unfortunately, the natural 20 will, so that will be 8 damage.
Okay, with the battle trance, that is halved.
As one of the spears kind of clips your thigh a little bit. And then there'll be one against Ludema, but I got like a 5. And then one against Fuelen, and I got a 14.
That will definitely miss.
Okay. Now, suffice it to say, as horrible and as terrifying as this creature is on the deck, you do see that the crew is kind of rushing out and grabbing, like, granted, the ones that are kind of trying for the shark and bear or whatnot are they're using kind of like boarding pikes to try to get at least a little bit of reach, but they are also attacking. Oh, that was a crappy roll. They were attempting to attack, let me rephrase, some of the enemies that are both in the water and whatnot. Because there's what you see as far as what you kind of see on the map is kind of those forces that aren't immediately fighting the crew and so on and so forth as far as that goes. You do also hear kind of a whine of annoyance coming from below decks, and you hear the sound of like a dog scratching at wood, as Kai and Fuelen, you can see that Fenrir is kind of below decks, clawing and biting and trying to tug at the wooden grate to be able to assist. But those there's a reason why they take pulleys and a group of guys to lift them out to put the cargo in. They are heavy deck plating. They don't go away quickly. So that's kind of what's happening more or less at the end of the round. Is top of round 2 is Ludema with the undead shark and bear on deck.
Okay, so I'm guessing I'm now in quarterstaff range.
You are still about you're about 10 feet away from it where you're currently at.
Okay, that's fine. I am going to do another firebolt.
Okay.
So another 13 to save.
Oh, so sorry. Are you doing a fireball?
Firebolt.
Firebolt. So my apologies. I may have been confused on something. Was the previous shot that you shot a firebolt or a fireball?
It was a firebolt.
So I apologize. I thought you said fireball.
So did I.
So, which then makes sense why the damage was so low. So let me. So firebolt is an attack roll, not a saving throw. That was my bad.
What I thought. Okay.
So I apologize for that. I'm gonna do a quick little markup here to take that into account. And
that's why I rolled to do it. So
now I would say this: you are kind of in reach of its horrible shark fists. If you want to try and shoot it, even though you're not adjacent to it, you are considered to be in melee with it.
Okay.
If you wanted to move, you could. Because you see it's kind of kind of going like this into the air. Like it seems to be a bit confused.
So.
But even if you took like a 5-foot step away from it, then you would be fine.
Okay. Yeah, let me back up another 5 feet then, because I don't. I want to be able to. Yeah.
So like kind of right there.
Yeah, out. Yeah, I want to be, because I have 120-foot range on Firebolt, so I can back up.
It's well within range. That's not really a.
I'm not an
But
experienced
yeah, I just want to be out of
run like a one
fighting
shot for
distance.
you guys, and then you
And you are now. Well, do you want to move? Like right now, moving just the 5 feet, you'll be out of its reach. But if you want to move back further, you can.
And
Okay,
obviously people you're
let's
comfortable
stay
with.
there for now.
So that way,
Okay.
you get this
Let me
feedback
roll.
from the people who have done it, who you trust, to help.
So
you
then go ahead and make your attack
The other one
roll
is, of
then,
course,
your spell attack.
all new players that don't know any better, because you don't know any better, and you tell them, "Hey, I don't know, you don't know. Let's learn this together."
17.
And
So-
that was two
17
things that I had
hits.
thought of.
The first scenario there,
And
the good
then
thing about
damage
that
is
is
2d10.
yes, you will get feedback. You'll get 4 different feedbacks from 4 different people. Every DM is just like every author. They're going
Right.
to do things
Mm,
there.
different. Right.
So
6. So
yes,
15.
do that, but then take what
Nice.
you like about that advice given to you by each of these.
And you see kind of an
experienced
acrid,
people.
oily
Don't
smoke
take every
kind of
little
rise off of
morsel
it
as
from the
gospel.
blast
Right.
of
What you're
fiery
doing
goodness that
as a
you,
new GM is finding
launched
your
into its
place,
midsection.
finding your style.
Yeah, after the
finding
D&D
your-
Beyond rolls, I went up.
That's like trying to tell a new writer how.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. And then now you still have some movement left if you do want to move. You don't have to, and you do also have potentially a bonus action. Is there anything else you wanted to do for your turn, or are you good to go?
I'm good to go.
All right, then it is the undead shark and bear's turn. So yeah, it is going to spread the love between Kai and Phelan, the naked guy. Phelan, are you injured?
That is a negative.
Okay, so the first shark fist attack is going to be, or actually, sorry, the first attack is going to be with its bear bite. Does a 16 hit you?
It does not.
Okay. Then it is going to make a shark and fist attack, but that is a 14. Dang it. Kai, you are injured, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So due to the blood frenzy, it will get advantage on this, but it doesn't really.
Wait, who's attacking?
The shark.
The shark and bear.
Oh, that's right. Never
No,
mind.
it should.
You
It
need
needs
to
to roll a d10 first, please.
Thank you. I got a 1. What does it do instead?
Okay, hold on. I just realized I wasn't on the spells page. I think it walks in a random direction. But hold on, let me double check.
Just fully walks off the side
Rolls
of the ship.
1. The creature uses all of its movement to move in a random direction. To determine the direction, roll a d8 and assign a direction based on the face of the die. The creature does not take an action this turn.
Okay,
Just
so
moves.
never mind what I said. So Kai and Phelan, it is going to attempt to move past you. And Lord knows it has enough movement that it will probably provoke from both of you. So if you have a reaction, you can use it to take a swing.
Quick question. It would be moving out of Ekris's threatened square 2. Would that also provoke from Ekris?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yep,
sorry,
Phelan
Akris,
takes-
you as well.
Phelan takes his reaction to attack of opportunity and gets a 20 to hit.
A 20 will hit.
And that will deal 6 points of damage.
Okay.
Okay, it is poking it.
Kai had a 24 to
So
hit.
hit.
Yep.
Okay.
And then he's going to do Why is this math hard? 26 points of damage.
Okay. And then Ekris?
Ekris got a 20 not nat to hit, and I think that hit from the previous thing and did a total.
It hit.
It did hit. Okay, cool. And then we'll do. Fuck, what was his modifier? A total of 6 points of damage.
Okay. So yeah, so basically the undead shark and bear kind of goes off and goes into the water and out of view. And it is the end of its turn, so then it will get to try and make a will save. It does not, because it is not a willful creature. And that is it for its turn. Then it is Ekris's turn.
Zora was banking on it not being a willful creature when she cast that.
Okay, I have a plan. Ekris casts as a bonus action Healing Spirit.
Okay.
And who got the most fucked up by this thing?
I mean, Kai and Ludema were both bitten by a shark bite.
Cool. So, Ludema, I believe, is more squishy than Kai. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ekris is going to center this healing spirit around Ludema. Ludema is still within the range of the unicorn totem.
Yes.
So they will get 5 plus 4, 9, so 12 points of healing.
Thank you.
12 points of healing right there. That was a my bonus action, and I believe that's not a cantrip, so I can't. Yeah, that's a first level spell, so I can't cast another spell. Where is the thing now? It's kind of lumbered off.
It's underwater.
Underwater now? Okay, cool. And then I guess Ekris is then going to is there a cinch or a pulley? Where's the device to kind of lift the grates?
Well, so you'd have to run a line to a pulley and then connect the line to the grate.
Oh, so there's not even a line set up at this point.
No, because when they're sailing, when they're not accessing the cargo hold, they put the grates on and that's it.
Okay, never mind then. Okay, cool. So then I guess as a
I mean, realistically, those the kind of the deck plates are pretty heavy and hefty.
Yeah.
It usually takes several people with the pulley system to lift one up.
No, understood. I was gonna maybe employ other people in doing that if that
Gotcha.
was a thing, but it is not. So instead, I'm gonna do a cantrip called No, I really can't do anything right now other than move, just because of the way that thing moved away. So I think what Ekris is gonna do is kind of move on to top of the front deck, maybe positioned between what looks like the two ballista.
Okay. So what's your speed?
20.
So 5, 10, 15. So like 20 could get you like here. Would that work?
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Can Ekris use the ballista?
Yes, but it is a so the ballistas are not currently loaded. Because you typically you wouldn't want to keep the string on tension the entire time, or it'll kill the string and kill the tension. So it typically, for a ballista, takes 1 action to load it, 1 action to aim it, and then 1 action to fire it.
Got it. Okay, so Ekris is going to do nothing with that because that seems like way too much of a hassle for the moment. And then he didn't use an action. Can he prepare one, or because he used a bonus action, can he not?
You can ready an action.
Yeah. Okay.
But you just have to say what action you're readying and what the trigger condition would be.
So the action that he is going to smack one of the fish creatures if it comes up to him to engage in melee.
Okay. Easy enough.
Yep. And that's it.
All right. Then it is Phelan.
Well, the thing that Phelan was slashulating just up and dipped.
Yep.
So
you do see there are several fish people in the water. For whatever that's worth.
Okay. Is there... Alright, he's going to take a quick look around. Can Phelan find anything that he could throw that looks like it would hurt if you got hit by it?
What's your passive perception?
11.
I'll say there is like a crew member with like a boarding pike. Like if you wanted to like snatch it out of their hands and chuck it, you could.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
That'd be basically like a javelin, or not as good of a javelin? Is this like an improvised throwing weapon?
We'd treat it like a spear. So a spear has a range increment of 20/60. And does like a D6 piercing plus your strength or whatever.
Okay. Is the closest fish person within 20, or would I be making it with long range?
Well,
or I guess would I have like enough movement to go to somebody, snatch it, and move to the side of the boat to just throw it right down at him?
I guess the question would be, which side do you want to go to? This side or this side?
Oh, which way did the shark and bear go?
The bear went north.
Then I will go to that side of the ship.
Okay. So if you 5 foot effectively, there are I'd say this guy right here is probably the closest where you'd be in the short range increment. Everyone else is just a hair out.
All right. I am going to throw it at him.
All right.
And a barbarian is proficient with a spear if they're proficient with a javelin, right?
You're proficient with pretty much everything.
Okay.
And as a thrown weapon, you can attack with your strength modifier.
Beautiful. Ah,
that's the beauty
balls.
of thrown weapons when you're big beefy.
Yeah, that's a nat 1. That's not hitting.
So you grab it and you chuck it, and you're just kind of in this sort of blood haze, and you realize when you grabbed it, like you didn't realize it until afterwards, but basically when you chucked it, you kind of chucked the wrong end.
Just kind of got caught by the wind because it wasn't aerodynamic.
And so it goes in butt first into the water and kind of bobs up, which is when you realize that you see the hook of the boarding pike before it kind of lays flat in the water.
Actually, you know what? Instead of that, can I just say that he kind of got his weapons confused and threw it like it was a hand axe?
Sure.
Just like end over end.
So just cartwheels, yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, well that made no progress for us whatsoever. But he's just gonna shout after the shark and bear. Get back here and bite me!
Okay.
Waylon,
Sorry.
why'd you throw a stick at it? It's not fetch.
I'm sorry, it was hilarious when you were yelling. Your avatar was just going blink, 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 and it was kind of hilarious. It was just, it worked. Yeah.
So now Foilon is standing at the side of the boat, having hand over, like over end, thrown a spear at something, and is still just naked. Screaming at the
That's
shark
fair.
bear.
So then if you are done, then it would be Kai would be next.
We're on a boat.
Yep.
There's no targets on the boat,
Correct.
but there's a lot of rope on the boat. Do I see a coil of rope on the deck that appears to be tied off to something?
What's your passive perception?
That's a good question. 15.
I'd say there's rope available. Probably kind of tied off on cleats, so you could unravel it a little bit. But they're not necessarily going to have unsecured ropes as best they can on deck. That they're usually going to be stowed a little bit, but I mean they're just kind of like wound on cleats and stuff. Like you could unwind a bit of rope if you wanted.
It's not nearly cinematic enough. He's gonna jump up on the railing, grab a rope, slash at it with the sword so it breaks free, and then jumps into the swings down to try to swing at one of the Sahagin. I will use an action surge because I'm pretty sure that's gonna eat up my my actions.
Okay. So we'll say we'll say you probably jump in after that one, since that's fairly close.
I assume using a great sword one-handed is going to make that a disadvantaged attack roll, correct?
Well, and even being swimming in the water, it would give you a disadvantage. So either way, yes.
Okay. So I'm not going to be using the Great Weapon Master.
Okay.
Which brings that up by that. Okay, so the lower of the two rolls was that, so 10 plus 9 is 19 plus 1 for the bless is dirty 20.
That will hit.
Ten points of damage to the Sahagin.
Okay. And with a very cinematic, like, you're almost kind of like you sort of swing it so that you're almost using the weight of the blade, kind of almost its own weight falling plus your own, to kind of dive down, and you chop into its torso. It's still up, but it is extremely injured and not doing so hot, and there's a lot of blood in the water.
I'm going to regret that. That aggressively takes up my turn.
All right, then it is Saral.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm not even muted. Okay. So we have evil bastards in the water.
Evil fishy bastard.
Evil fishy bastards.
Does-
Fenrir, honey, I'm so sorry. I have no way of getting you. I cannot lift the big heavy thing. Okay, just so he knows, I know that he wants to get out and play. But I can't do squat about it. Because Mage Hand doesn't lift that. All right, I'm going to, because I'm assuming these fishy bastards in the water have their heads above water, right? Because they're like
They
attacking
are
us.
currently, yes, they're kind of swimming at the surface.
All right, so, ooh, there's like 3 of them to the south, right?
There are 3 to the south and 3 to the north. I mean, there are technically a few more in the water, but the crew's kind of dealing with the strays. But this is
these are the ones that we're engaging with. Gotcha.
You know, are currently unengaged with the crew.
Are any of them within 20 feet of each other? It's a little hard to tell scale-wise and stuff.
So these 2 are just, let's see, 1, 5, 10. These 2 are just within 20 feet of each other.
Okay.
And, I mean, these 2 are within 20 feet of each other, and these 2 are kind of within 20 feet of each other.
But not all 3 of them.
Correct.
Okay. And I assume, based on my elevation being like 25 feet up off the water, I can see all of these yahoos?
Yes. Plus, you also have the ability to fly, so...
Yes. Yeah.
Assuming you flew up even like 5 or 10 feet, you'd be able to see them without any issue.
All right. So Saral is going to attack the 2 that are close to each other to the south, or close-ish to each other.
So these 2 guys?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Shatter on them.
Okay.
They do get a con save.
Constitution save. All right. That would be a 7 and a 14.
Neither of them make it.
Okay.
So they are going to take thunder damage. Let me roll the damage. Please roll well, please. I hate you two. 1 rolled an 8 and the other 2 rolled a 2 and a 3. So 13 total thunder damage. And it's also really loud. A sudden loud ringing noise, painfully intense, erupts at the point of my choosing.
They did not like that. They are still up, but they are much like the one that Kai hit. They are severely injured.
All right. And I apparently never reset my spells after the last game. I'm gonna, as my bonus action, I am going to... Yes, this is bonus action. Okay, I'm going to actually Misty Step down to Fenrir.
Okay.
And with him, see if there's any resources down here to help get him out.
Okay. And you see Fenrir is tearing out pieces of and is like clawing at, and you do see every once in a while the deck plates will maybe lift up a little bit, but even with Fenrir's fairly large bulk and prodigious strength, it would take it would require some like leverage, which Fenrir just isn't really having at this point.
Yeah.
So you port down there and you see him kind of turn to you and sort of whine and give you like a nervous lick in the face, which kind of slathers you. It was like,
I know, I'm trying, honey.
Is that
you deserve to kick their asses too.
Is that it for you, sir?
That's all I can kind of do right now.
All right.
I've done actions and bonuses and all that good stuff.
So the Sahagwin, yeah, you're in the water. They're gonna come after you, Kai, because you're in the water.
Sure am.
That one is gonna get there, so it climbs on board the deck. Actually, these three will climb on board the deck in their relative spots, but that's effectively going to double move them, so they'll be done. So the ones that are in the water with you, Kai, are going to do they just start trying to tear into you with their claws and their somewhat shark-esque teeth. But the first guy got like 10 and 6. The two that are... The two that are... I ate dropping dice. Alright. That are flanking are going to hopefully have slightly better luck. Does a 19 hit you?
Yes.
So 1 hits with a claw for 3 slashing.
Got it.
Oh crap, technically they all have... Okay, never mind. Well, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. The rest of the rolls sucked. So you see, like, out of the captain's quarters, you see Giuseppe kind of come out. He's like, hey, what is all the fuss about? And then kind of looks over at the shark guy that's sitting in front of him. Is like, oh, now I see. And you see pulls out a pistol and kind of shoots. Well, hopefully shoots. He shoots one of the guys kind of point blank. Kind of the one on the top deck there. And injures it. He's like, okay, everybody, we can start mopping up anytime now. Doing a great job. You are wonderful people. And, well, Ludema, since you're kind of sitting there, he will give you inspiration. So it'll be let's see, you're probably at a D8, so it'll be like a D8 inspiration.
Okay.
And the crew is attacking. Well, let's see what the crew does. Hey, they roll a little bit better. All right. The crew starts, using crossbows and boarding pikes and starts attacking the Sagwan that are coming aboard decks, and starting to make a mess of things. And then that will be top round 3, which is Ludema.
Okay. I'm thinking I'm gonna go after one of the ones that are attacking Kai.
Okay. And you can see them without too much issue. In fact, I'd say if you just scooch to the edge of the deck to the railing, you should be able to you'd be able to target any one of them without any issue.
Okay.
If you wanted to do so, you don't have to, but
What I want to do is cast Frostbite on the one to the right on the screen, the one next to Kai.
to the one on this one right here?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a con save throw. Of 13.
And it rolled a nat 1.
Ooh, cool. All right. So what that means is,
And that
one, it takes 7 points of frostbite damage.
Okay.
Then well, cold damage, and it has disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
Okay, and just to verify, it says a weapon attack or a melee attack?
Weapon attack.
Okay. Fair enough. Is that it for you then?
Yes.
Okay. It's a good hit. That one is definitely feeling it. So Saral, I'm rolling for the Shark and Bear because it is next. I got a 5. Uh-oh. Did we lose a Saral for a moment?
I was kissing my daughter goodnight.
Oh, well, that's fair.
I had the headset on still, so I'm like, I gotta hurry though, because I affected the bad guy, so I gotta get ready to answer what's gonna happen. And I heard you getting ready. I'm like running down the stairs. Let me find the confusion spell again. Okay, so a 5 means the creature doesn't move or take any actions on its turn.
Okay.
Yes, 2 to 6 is he just does nothing.
So Kai, granted, you're kind of sitting there surrounded by these Sagwan shark people, but you do see that the undead Shark and Bear is probably about 10 or 15 feet below you.
Just sitting there.
And it just kind of sits. You see every once in a while, like, it just kind of sits there. Like, you see its legs are kind of going. It's basically sort of dog paddling with the shark.
And then it does get to roll its wisdom again to see if it stops being confused. I really hope it doesn't, because this is fun.
It got a 7.
Yay! We get to do this another round.
So that is the undead Shark and Bear. So then it is Ekris's turn.
Okay, go back upstairs to get my water.
Ekris is going to use a guiding bolt on the Sagwan. Is that how you say it?
I don't know. I'm probably mispronouncing it and bullshit. I say Sahagwan, but I still don't think there's a proper way to say it.
The fish dude.
Fish folk.
Fish folk.
It's we're gonna.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah. Klaatu Barata. Anyway.
So he's going to use a guiding bolt on the one closest to him. That's just at the bottom of the stairs there.
Sure.
23 hit?
Yes, that will hit.
Awesome. Only cast it as a first level spell, because I don't know that he'll need more than that. We'll find out. Total of 18 points of damage.
It really doesn't like that. It is very angry with you.
Damn it. All right, he may have needed a higher level spell. Okay.
So you bring down this ray of just like kind of pure sunlight, and it screeches out in pain. But you see its whole like body is just this like charred flesh. Like, it's still up, but it is not happy.
Okay, well, let's make its day worse. Great. So, Ekris is gonna walk down the stairs to it.
Okay.
And then cast a cantrip called Word of Radiance. And it needs to make a con save.
Now, is Word of Radiance a bonus action?
Oh shit! No, you're right. I got that mixed up. My bad. Never mind. He's not going to do that. So that changes where I'm actually not going to move there. I apologize to I'm just making you do your half squats today, Brian. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm getting my exercise in. It's all good.
Well, don't sit down yet because Ekris is going to move elsewhere.
Yeah.
Who's the pink figure?
That's Saral.
That's Saral? Okay, great. And then who else looks messed up?
Saral, I don't think is injured.
Did Kai get hit?
Several
times.
Kai is definitely injured.
Okay.
Sure am, but I'm in the drink.
Ludema may still be injured. Yeah, you can't actually see Kai where you're at. You'd have to get to like this side of the ship to see over the deck.
So let's move over there. I have a speed of 20. And then I'm going to move the healing spirit, which I can do as a bonus action, to Kai's square.
So you're okay.
And then that also, if I kind of centered it, the other thing, he still should be in the radius of the unicorn thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Kai heals 11 points of damage.
Woo!
And thus concludes Ekris' turn.
Just
All
for
right.
reference, Saral is not in that location right now. She's actually down in the hold.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. I'll move you off there.
And she is ever so slightly injured, but that's moot at this point. Not as bad as Kai, and she's not surrounded by baddies.
Then it is Foylin's turn.
All right. This again, that's right off the ship, kind of kitty corner to Foylon. Is it within range? Like, is the deck close enough to the water, or is he sticking out of the water enough that I could hit him with my axe?
No, you're about 15 feet up.
Well, then the question becomes, do I make the slightly smarter choice, or do I make the barbarian choice?
The answer is always barbarian.
What is your class?
It is barbarian.
I mean...
All right. Foylon is going to launch himself off the side of the ship, kind of over the one that he's right next to, and kind of land on the other side.
So your goal is to try to land like here?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and make a, I think it's acrobatics roll.
13.
Okay, good to go.
Okay. And he's going to, with his first attack, just kind of bring it down with him. Kind of the momentum there.
Sure.
He's absolutely going to rage first, though, because why the fuck not?
So bonus action to rage, and then...
And then leap and swing.
Leap and swing, okay.
He's going to reckless attack, because why not? We'll just go full barbarian on this.
Sure.
So... First one will be a 26 to hit.
That will hit. And I apologize. You're hitting the one on the west of Kai?
I'm hitting the one north of Kai.
The north of Kai. Okay. Go ahead and roll damage for that.
That is nice. Another 12 on the die, so 18 points of slashing damage.
Yeah, so that one was also already the one that Kai had kind of injured. And you split its head open.
Excellent.
Like, just on the die roll, not counting your modifiers, you killed it. So you really killed it.
Excellent.
Now, I will say, so that'll be like your first attack. Now that you are in the water, your next attack would be technically a disadvantage, but with Reckless would just kind of even out to a regular attack roll if you're making another attack.
I'm absolutely making another attack, and this one will be to the one west of Kai.
And that one, I don't believe, is actually taken any damage yet.
Ooh. That one's a 14 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, hell yeah. Ooh, and an 11 on the die, so 17 points of slashing.
It's still up. But you like, after kind of pulling your axe out, you swing wide and you chop its arm off.
So, and I just for flavor, so he jumps off the boat, and he just does the down sweep on the first one as she's shouting, "Bring back the bear shark!" And then he kind of like goes underwater with the force of the slash and kind of buoys back up, swinging sideways, cutting the arm off, and he goes, "I want to fight it!"
And actually, now that you're in the water, and especially with you displacing the bloody water a bit with your sploosh, in fact, as you come up saying that, your brain, because you're raging, finally catches up and you realize that you saw it swimming below you about 10, 15 feet-ish.
All right. And that will be my turn, because that is all my actions.
So Kai, you are up.
Okay.
I'd say the one to either side of you, they are both pretty messed up.
Well, I don't want to get... I'm not a huge fan of this flanking business, so I'm going to go ahead and take out one of the guys that's flanking me.
Okay. Because you are swimming, you will be rolling with disadvantage.
Yes. I will roll...
At least if you're using your greatsword.
Which I am. So, lower of the roll was a 15. That's cocked. 19 plus 9 is 28 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
So that is going to be 18 points of damage.
And which one was that?
Is it one of the guys that Fuelan was attacking? Was that one of the ones flanking me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only two left for the ones flanking.
They're both injured.
Okay.
But the one to the east of you is
the one
also
Fuelan just
disadvantaged.
attacked seems to be the most prudent answer to that question, so we're going to go with that.
Okay, and how much damage was that?
18.
Okay, you kill that one.
Okay, then I will take my second attack and hit the other guy. Jesus. Lowest roll on that was also a 15, so...
You
plus,
hit.
Yeah. Nice. 19 points of damage.
And that one dies as well. The waters immediately around you, other than being full of blood and chum, are clear of bad guys currently.
Okay. Then I'm going to take a deep breath, swim down 15 feet towards Shark and Bear. Because you swim at half your move speed, yes?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, then yeah, so that's my move speed is 30, so I will swim down towards Shark and Bear.
You
And
are
that will-
next to the Shark and Bear, and that'll be it for your...
That is all she wrote for me.
Alright, then it is Saral.
Woohoo! So,
You do see some of the fishy folk are on deck. Like, if you look through the grating, you can see one kind of immediately to the south of you.
can I see it well enough to cast Firebolt at it?
Yes, I would say with the grate, it would have...
Excuse me.
probably like half cover, so it'll just have a slight bump to its AC. But yes, you could definitely shoot it.
Let's give that a try.
Okay.
See how poorly I roll here. Oh, nat 20, man.
Okay.
I rolled a nat 20, 28 to hit.
That hits, yeah. Well, you rolled a nat 20, you hit. So go ahead and roll your damage. Remember that the dice double.
Oh, the dice double? So do I roll twice as many? Oh, it did it for me. Never mind. It noticed I critted. 19 then.
19 damage?
Yes.
So, normally, when you hit someone with a firebolt, you see this like sizzling bolt of fire hit someone and you see a scorch, you know. On some good hits, you might even see it sort of fizzle and burn through, kind of like maybe like a firework or a road flare.
Mm-hmm.
You hit this thing and it explodes.
Oh! Did
It had 4 hit points left.
Did someone stuff the bad guy with dynamite and not tell me? Kapiff.
And I'm totally imagining this now as like an episode of The Boys where just gore and splatter everywhere. But yeah, you hit the thing and like the science of it is you brought its internal temperature up so high that it boiled the water and moisture within its body, causing it to explode. But for all intents and purposes, kablooey.
Kablooey. Okay. Well, one less baddie to worry about. Yeah, and other than keeping Fenrir company, there's...
And actually, Fenrir just kind of sits, and you see he's kind of panting heavily, like he's still kind of like wanting to get up there, but is kind of resigned to what, but is at least a little bit entertained by the exploding fish person.
Is there? I'm assuming because one of the things we need is leverage, so he could pop it out. There isn't really anything good down here that we could use to, from this angle,
not
use
so
his
much.
strength to pop, right?
And admittedly, with Fenrir kind of already climbing on some of the cargo to claw and at the grate and bite at the grating, the deck plates. Fenrir's already about this close to start damaging some of the cargo anyway, just in his attempts to try to.
So, yeah, Thrall makes her statement about, did somebody stuff it with explosives, and then goes over and just kind of leans on Fenrir.
That's fair.
Because she wants to help let him out, but she can't.
That is fair. So then it is the Swagwagman's turn, Gesundheit. This one is going to move up and attack Ludema. And this one is going to... Actually, that one's gonna move up, but it's just enough movement where it can't quite attack. However, the other one is going to swipe at you, Ludema, with tooth and claw. Literally tooth and claw. Does a 12 hit you? Oh.
Like 12 is my armor class.
Okay. And then the other one actually is a 9. So one of them sinks its fangs into your arm as you kind of try to bring it up to defend yourself a little bit. Takes 3 piercing damage. Oh no, actually the AC is low. Never mind. Ha 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 ha, yay. And then you see the crew is definitely kind of turning the tide on things, and you do see that the captain kind of walks up to the deck and is like, "Oh, it looks like you're in a bit of a pickle," and then shoots the one that it shot before, and manages to kill it.
Is that the one that's latched onto Ludema, or no?
No.
Okay.
No, that was the one that basically used its whole action to move up to you and was going to try and savage you the next turn. So I'm going to say at this point, because there's only one left and there's, 4 or 5 of you, that realistically, you can take on an injured Swawawan and then whatever and kill it. So I'm going to say the combat. Well, actually, let me rephrase. Before we go into that, we should go to one more turn of the bear, shark and bear. What does a 3 get it?
Does nothing.
Okay.
There is a chance for it to attack. Like, if it had rolled higher, it had...
well, and it got a 10 to try and make the save. So then...
it's still lost.
I'm assuming you're going to try and chop the bear.
Oh, I sure am.
So roll it. Are you using your sword?
Yes. I think Fuelan technically goes before I do, though.
Well, and Fuelan is absolutely going after the shark's bear.
All right. So then, Fuelan, you're able to swing down to the bear because it's just sitting there.
Just sitting.
Are you attacking with your axe?
I am attacking with my axe, and I am attacking recklessly.
Okay, so then it's just going to be a straight roll.
Okay. 23.
Yeah, you hit.
That will be for 11 points of slashing damage.
The shark and bear proceeds to sink back into its watery grave for the second time, you're guessing.
And hopefully the last.
Oh, actually, that is a good point. I need to have it make... Yeah, so what was the damage?
11 points of slashing, yes.
Oh, actually... Nope, rolled a 2. Alright. So, yep, it sinks to its watery grave.
Fuelan bellows his triumph, realizes a split second too late that he's still underwater and that's a bad idea, and quickly swims back to the surface to get air.
Okay. Easy enough to do. So then with that, we'll say that combat will effectively be over, because again, you can take out one wounded Sawagwan guy. Swigwin, I don't know. But this is probably a good spot to take a little break, since we are done with combat. So let's go ahead and do like let's see, maybe like a 7-ish minute break. Can we try to get back at, say, 9?
I mean,
since
this is pre-recorded, we could just say 10 minutes and call it 10 minutes.
No, that's a good point. Good point. Yeah. Then we'll do 10 minutes.
All right, we'll be back in 10.
See y'all later.
Welcome back. All right. So, our lovely adventurers continue on their way after probably struggling with, yes?
Shortly after the fight, she plans on walking up to the captain and talking to him. Okay. So I don't know how far you were planning on starting.
And that's fine. So as the crew is cleaning off undead fish crud off the deck, thankful that for the most part their casualties were very light, some injured, but luckily because you guys took care of the heavy lifting, no one had perished other than the initial crew member that got eaten by the shark and bear. Parts of that crew member have also been washed off the deck as well. You approach the captain, who is sitting there. Looks like kind of sitting there with hands on his belt, his wide belt, just kind of taking everything. He's like, great, wonderful job, crew, wonderful job, good job swabbing deck. Yes, it is going to be a good day.
Hey, Captain Giuseppe.
See?
I appreciate your positive attitude. One of your crew just died.
Yes, unfortunately, such things do happen on this crossing. It is, but I like to think of the positive, in that I'm positively certain that it is a dangerous trip, and I'm glad only one member has died so far.
Oh, so this happens regularly on your trips across this area?
Well, the sea in between Solanel and the Badlands is, well, it is a dangerous crossing under any normal circumstance, but because of the sky falling and the whole thing that happened a few days ago, it's been a little more difficult,
A little extra spice in the water?
No, I don't think so. But it is... But it has been definitely more dangerous. Admittedly, this is probably the first time in, I'd say, a year that I've come across the fishy people. But granted, us being stuck in the doldrums a little bit do make us tempting bait, as it were.
When we're on the move, a little trickier to catch. When we're stuck, stalled out.
Indeed. And one hopes never to come across, when sailing, to come across, like the bigger fishy dangers.
So a thought, in case we run into more dangerous situations, which are a possibility?
I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I'm also not going to say it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, a thing can happen.
Yeah, okay. And you may have noticed, me and mine do have some skills in taking care of things.
Yes, you did quite well against the big furry sharky thing, and that was definitely a little terrifying. But
yeah, let's not have that ever again. And the fishy people. We also killed a lot of fishy people. So something that would be very beneficial to this situation is if our furry friend, specifically my furry friend who can rip those Sahagwans' heads off, could have had access to the fight. So I know that you normally don't have the pulley system set up when sailing because you don't need it, right?
Yes, it does get in the way when we are trying to do the sailing.
Yeah. So is there a way that it can get half set up? Like, oh, the hook is attached to the rope and it just pulled up out of the way. So then you have somebody who releases that rope, drops it, hooks it up, and pulls. I'm not saying have the ropes in the way. That's a tripping hazard. People aren't expecting that. Someone's gonna fall off the boat. I'm saying maybe it would behoove us to have a strong, furry, ferocious thing to scare off the other ferocious, scary things.
Go ahead and make a persuasion roll.
Okay. Hold on, I have to figure out which tab has my character's thing. Persuasion. Please don't suck. 23.
I will have to speak to the crew. I have no doubt your furry companion would be a help, but maybe. But admittedly, if we are taking out the deck plates, there's not a lot of room under the deck for people to stand on, like the sailors, let alone a big furry dog-like horse creature. So let me discuss it with the crew a little bit, and I can't guarantee we will necessarily be able to do it, but we will take a look and see what we can do.
Yeah, because it's even possible to release it so he can pop out and drop the plate back in space. I've never lifted it myself. I don't know all the physics. But I appreciate you looking into it because he would be a significant asset.
So it's my headcanon at this point that Kai and Fuelon are now have now climbed up the side of the ship, and you see Kai drop the big sword over the edge and kind of pull himself up, kind of flopping unceremoniously onto the deck, gray hair just kind of matted and pressed against his face, and he kind of looks up at Saral. I forgot how disgusting seawater is.
Yeah, I was wondering if you even remembered how to swim.
That was touch and go for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Glad you didn't die.
At that point, Fuelon heaves himself up onto the deck, gets down to on all fours, and starts shaking himself like a dog to get the water off of him.
Fuelon, honey.
Not furry.
Giuseppe, I'll take care of them. Fuelon, honey.
Oh, my mouth
honey.
is open and everything.
Fuelon.
Well, and he's he's still naked.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do. That's what I'm about to. Yep, I'm ready. That's what I'm doing.
I'm aware!
You see one of the sailors, Kai, kind of as they see you kind of haul yourself up and see the water, the bloody, stained water kind of dripping off of you and kind of runneling off of you a little bit, looks like your scuppers are running red, and he kind of punches you in the arm and then kind of, ow, and then kind of goes off. But then he
He's gonna cast prestidigitation on Kai.
Okay. So all of a sudden you're nice and dry, apparently.
And clean.
Fuelon stands up to his full height, battle axe in hand, kind of turns to Saral, big, huge, proud grin on his face. Yes, Saral?
Sweetie, you're naked again.
Saral, how high are you flying up? Just double checking.
Well, she was on the ground when he started to stand up, so she flutters her butt up a little bit so his bits are not in her nose.
Okay, that's good.
Because it was fine, and then he stood up and it's So she's not necessarily eye level necessarily, but
Nope, that's
so instead of junk level, you're nipple level? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Yes.
Okay.
Fair.
Fuelon, honey, you are mighty and amazing and naked. Where are your fuck pants?
Oh.
Are they back in your room still?
I did not have time to grab them on my way out.
Okay. It's gonna get sunburned. Go put your pants on.
Wait. But before you do, who hurts? By show of
I'm
hands.
fine. I will go retrieve my fire pots. And he walks back out to his room.
We have 7 points of damage right now. See how Cyril or Kai are doing.
Kai is... Honestly, it's probably hard to tell. He's covered in Sahagin blood.
Well, that's
Oh
why.
wait, no, you cast prestidigitation. Never mind. No, he is injured.
So Ekris's plan is to move the spirit totem over, and then like let it do its thing.
How much time do you have left on it?
Well, how many rounds of combat did we do?
That was
Like 3, maybe
Well,
3 or 4.
We probably had 4 to finish it
4.
off.
I'd say 4.
So basically the plan was to move it over as soon as combat was finished, but then we kind of repeat a little bit. But the idea was to move it over and just have it hover over people and heal them until they're clear.
Okay. And it heals one person at a time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's healing spirit.
Healing spirit, and then I have a little totem going too that also lasts for a minute.
How long does the healing spirit normally last?
It's a minute. Each of the things is 1 minute.
Okay,
And how many
so you have
times
6
does it
rounds
heal?
worth of healing to dish out.
Yep.
Well, is it able to heal 6 times?
Yeah, it's a continuous thing.
Oh, yeah,
Or
does it have a limited amount of times it heals within that minute?
I thought it was 1 plus your spellcasting modifier number of times.
Let me look back.
I think it just lasts up to a minute if it doesn't go through that healing.
Are rounds 10 seconds in 5e?
6 seconds.
6 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 6 more rounds to do, not 6 total. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was a 1 plus your spellcasting mod ability. Okay, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I did it twice. So I can do it 3 more times.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it 3 more times.
I mean, depending on how well
Healing
you roll,
spirit isn't.
Well, we've got it. Go ahead and divvy out your healing.
So 11 for the first one.
I'm full. Move it to somebody else.
Then 10 for the second. I'll
Ma-
have that be Maeve.
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay,
maybe I
only
think was
needed
the most.
7, so
Is anybody else injured?
I technically am down 3.
Okay, I'm gonna do the other one on me because I'm down 10.
Yeah,
And
do
so
you?
I'll put 10 on that one, and then that is done.
Okay.
Well, and isn't your totem thing that whenever hit point damage is healed, other people in the zone get healed?
No, the person that gets healed gets an additional amount. I don't think
Oh,
the other person
gotcha.
gets healed. So I was already calculating that additional amount.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I misunderstood that one then.
Yep, no worries.
Okay. There's a little raccoon, like, looking over your shoulder there. That's cute.
Yes, this is Natalie. She doesn't get to play right now because her game's on hiatus.
Indefinite
So-
hiatus until we can get our shit together.
I know, it makes me very, very sad, which also means, like, my crew from that game has not yet met the stuffed version of Natalie because I got her after the last game we played. So she just hangs out with me now while I game because
That's fair.
she's also like the best of Family Snuggle. She's like solid.
She's adorable.
So with that, you guys are able to get some healing. The crew's able to get stuff cleaned up. There are definitely some watches that are kept a little bit more generously as far as personnel, just to make sure nothing happens. Luckily, the kind of the doldrums that you're in seem to go away as probably late evening / early morning winds start to pick up again, and for those of you that sleep soundly, you wake up to the ship moving again.
So I get a long rest.
You're able to get a long rest. The next few days do go by uneventfully. If you've got any downtime things that you want to try and accomplish, we know that Tink is working furiously on some jewelry. And funny enough, actually, probably as everyone's cleaning off the deck and the healing's going on, you do see Tink kind of come up to the deck, and you hear in a deep, gravelly dwarven voice, "What the fuck is this shit going on?"
Oh, we just had a little party with the natives.
What's all this
He
then?
won.
Did I bring ale?
No.
And fuck it. It kind of turns back around and goes back downstairs.
Right. That's all I got.
The rest of the journey, though, does happen to go fairly uneventfully. And which even Captain Giuseppe says is kind of an odd thing, because realistically they should have expected something else horrible to happen by now.
Yay?
And in fact, there's at one point there is a it looks like there is a ship that seems to kind of be pursuing in the distance that for a couple of days seems to be kind of off in the distance, kind of shrouded in a bit of fog that seems to kind of move with it, and is on the few times that it gets a little bit closer, you see it looks like there's several bodies hanging from the masts. But realistically, the crew and y'all don't want anything to fucking do with that, and Giuseppe gets as far away from it as he can, and luckily your ship is, even with as much cargo as you have, is much faster than their vessel, and so you're able to outpace it. So other than that, the rest of the trip goes by fairly uneventfully. And so you eventually, after however many days at sea and getting to the point where you're just about ready to start burning the hardtack and the jerky and say, fuck it, I'm going to eat someone because I need, like, this shit's getting old. I mean, stale, yes, but also old. That you hear the cry of from the crow's nest that land ho, and sure enough, you see kind of that dark line on the horizon, and as you sail forth, you see Giuseppe is like, everyone's kind of the crew is kind of working excitedly to get everything ready, so to speak, and you see the captain's like, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We're about ready to begin. Go ahead and pull up the sails and drop the anchor. And when he says that, there's a little bit of confusion because you're still probably a good solid mile or two from shore. Like, you see it in the distance. You see the little hills and cliffs, or you're guessing. It's like, Mr. Guy, I believe your name was? You were, no, which one? No, Lady Sarah. You were the talks person of the spokeswoman. Please come. Let us settle up our debts before we get into port, shall we?
I thought the deal was we'd pay you when we docked at port.
And I understand, and we will get you to port. I am a man of my word, but we would also appreciate to make sure that we have the money before actually throwing our mooring lines onto the deck. As you could fly away from us, and you have some burly people, and so we just want to, as a sort of a security thing to make everybody feel comfortable, we would like to settle up the bill now. What do you say, okay?
We have just spent the last month together. What makes you think we're going to do something nefarious?
Well, we are now in the Badlands, or I mean Badlands adjacent, and the Badlands is known to be a place for those of how would you say, low moral standards, eh?
Oh, so you're saying you have low moral standards? Are you switching on me?
Sorrel.
Hmm. He's being a bit rude. He's calling me.
Just
Oh, no, I'm not implying anything, but you see, the trick is my crew, they worry that maybe I don't make the best deal, and I want to make sure they feel secure that they will get their share of the voyage. And
Just-
Raoul, who has been saying that we aren't going to pay you?
Sorrel. Just.
and you see the entire crew, whoever's on deck, immediately does the. Oh hey, I better go take like a.
Just.
Son of a-
Kai, I'm gonna pay him. I'm just gonna
Just-
be stinky about it.
Pay him now with the understanding that if there's any funny business, we'll take it back.
Oh, we're gonna fucking kill him.
I was just gonna take it back, but
Oh, okay. That's less messy.
I can't guarantee what Foylon and Fenrir.
That's why I wasn't gonna guarantee they'd live if they tried to cheat us. I'm just a little sore. I'm a little sore. I understand you want to make sure your business is on the up and up, and I understand that this place that we're now attending is not on the up and up. That's why we're here. We're going to come save people from here. And if you happen to be around, we can get you more passengers to pay you more money to get the hell out of here.
You realize we're
As long as you don't do
contemplating
anything sketchy.
passage back too, right?
And you see, he just smiles and kind of blinks his eyes for a moment. It's like, okay, so you pay up, and then we settle it, it's all good, and then we get you into the port. Okay?
She goes downstairs. She didn't keep over him. Hey, y'all. I'm assuming at some point everybody else helped pitch in, so I didn't have to just keep using my money.
Yes.
Okay, good, because Sorrel doesn't have that money anymore. She used all of her money for the half down payment. So
How much-
y'all
how much
figure
was
out
the total?
how much. 600 gold.
Yeah.
Right? And I paid 300 already, so Sorrel's down 300 gold. So if y'all could pitch in various amounts.
It was 400, 200 up front, 200 when we got.
Oh, right, we renegotiated down to 400.
Yeah, because Tank was
Yes.
making jewelry.
Tank is making jewelry, and we negotiated some
Right.
stuff. Yes. Thank you for remembering that part.
Kai will
Right, I
contribute.
didn't have that much gold.
Kai will contribute 100 gold.
Cool.
Ludema will contribute. Wait, where's mine? Yeah, right. Ludema will contribute another 150, just to make it.
But we only,
And
we
Sorrel
only
will
need another
pocket
100.
that 50 so that she had some evening out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because she had done that. I'm assuming that's what you were implying by the. Okay.
Well, Foylan will give 50 to Sorrel as well for the
Oh, look
initial.
at that. Okay, cool.
Ekarus is trying to find where the money is on his character sheet and then determine from there where we go. So
You actually got some money last game too. I just don't remember how much.
I don't remember either.
Did we put it on a sheet?
No, because I didn't have access to it.
It's in the chat somewhere. Wait, maybe it's not. Alright.
It might be.
well, regardless, Ekarus will give something at some point.
You'll have at least
Okay.
50 gold that you can contribute.
Okay,
Ekarus will give 50 gold.
Okay, what Sorrel's gonna end up doing is pocketing the extra to be used in future sales of our stuff. So, note that Sorrel's not being. She wouldn't be sketchy with it anyway. But that helps now. Sorrel has put in a more reasonable amount and has spread it around. Alright, Sorrel then comes back up to the captain. Mr. Captain Giuseppe,
See.
I've had a very lovely ride with you. We've appreciated everything. Please don't be stupid. She hands him the money.
Wonderful. Raise anchor. Let's go into port. I have so many things I want to show you. This is my home away from home. I mean, when I am not on the La Bella Donna. But I'm so excited to say everything. And you see the ship does, they take up anchor and head in.
Is there good places to eat? Because I'm pretty sure everyone here needs to eat.
Oh, there are wonderful restaurants. Now, I will say, this place is a little bit different than what you may be used to. It is unlike anything you've seen in a Solonel. There is a reason why it is called Oddity. But it is a lovely place, full of wonderful, colorful people. In fact, if you look now, you will kind of see as we approach. And sure enough, you see as you approach, you're kind of, this area of shoreline is fairly rocky and kind of craggy, and you see a lot of fairly tall cliffs, kind of like the cliffs of Dover a little bit. But you do see an area where there's a couple of like tiers on the cliff face. And it actually looks like there are buildings built on some of these little smaller plateaus, but also on the actual sides of the cliff face as well. And you see there is it almost looks like a gigantic crevasse, so to speak, kind of separating. I mean, if you ever watch Tailspin, you kind of get the idea as far as like there's a sort of a gap in the cliffs that the ship is aiming towards. But you see these buildings, they're all sorts of different designs. There are some that are wooden that appear a little bit more that go from anywhere from being sort of a like much more of an Asian theme to like your Asian sort of kind of traditional Asian temple theme to some shantier type of stuff. You see one that looks like more of a what you'd consider more of a European, like an Italian Renaissance-y European type of building with like some built out of the rock, but has like a tile slate roof. You see there are all sorts of different walkways. There's a couple of stone bridges that cross overhead as you start to sail in between, kind of in the gap between the two cliffs. And it's really interesting, if a bit, well, I mean, the place tends to give itself a pretty, now you kind of see why it's referred to as Oddity, because as you pass through kind of the gap in the cliffs, you see it does kind of open up into a large cove where several vessels could be. And in fact, you see there are a couple of sailing ships that are already kind of moored in the cove. They don't really have any piers, so to speak, at least not for these larger vessels. It looks like they just kind of anchor in the cove and then, use longboats or whatever to get. But you do see there are several smaller ships, more like smaller fishing vessels. But you definitely get the sense of why they would call this place Oddity, as even from the architectural standpoint, it's just a mishmash of all sorts of things. But as you get close enough where they drop anchor and get the longboat set up, and they do allow you and your crew to get off first. They do say that Giuseppe does let you know Just to let you know, you do need to see Bahatu when you arrive on the shore. Bahatu is the dockmaster. You have to report in, and there is a little. They have to tell you the rules of the place. It can be a little bit dangerous, so you want to be on your guard. But ultimately, the people here, they are very colorful, wonderful people. You get to meet all sorts of people that you have never met before. It is a wonderful. And perhaps maybe we have a drink later. I have to take care of things here, but maybe later.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. And you see they, start getting you sent off, and so like with one of the longboats, you guys are taken out. Fenrir just jumps into the water and starts swimming toward shore. Doesn't even second guess it, just jumps in the water, and of course the crew is easily able to dive away and get the hell away from Fenrir, so as you approach, you see the other reason why this place would be referred to as Oddity. It's not just the different buildings and manufacture, so to speak, but as you see on the docks, you see all sorts of beings. And it's not that, you've been to the different cities of Solanel. You've been to Imprido Langat, which is a fairly cosmopolitan area. But in terms of just a mishmash of races, this place puts that to shame. Like, you see, there are some Durgar, some Drow, some green-skinned elves that you have no idea what type of sub-elf that would be. You see some Fey folk of various kinds. You see some centaurs, some looks sort of like a lion centaur type of hybrid, with the upper torso of a human, but like the bottom torso of like a lion as opposed to a horse. You see there's a Drider walking around. It is just a mishmash. And it's like a kaleidoscope of different races and monstrosities or what would be considered monstrosities by the civilized folk. You see there are some winged individuals that are flying around. You see some that are there are some different aquatic folk here that are like, you see one of the Sahagwan, or however you pronounce it, because we've been having fun with that the entire night, kind of coming up from the water carrying a net full of fish that are still kind of flapping about. You see what even looks like a couple of hags and whatnot, not in their disguised or illusion forms, but in their, their green, warty skinned vileness or loveliness, depending on how you look at it. And as you kind of gather onto the decks, you see there is a like humans. There's a few about, but they definitely seem to be much of a bit of a minority. In fact, most of the quote-unquote civilized races that you would normally see in Solanel tend to be fairly rare. Not to say that they don't have people traipsing about, but like you see, when you're seeing dwarves, there's more like Duergar dwarves necessarily, or even some of the gnomes are more like the deep gnomes. You even see what appears to be automaton people. Because I guess here's a question for Siral and Kai. Did they ever make their way to Eberron in any of their past adventures? Because I honestly don't remember.
I don't think so.
So you see, it again, it is just a kaleidoscope of beings. And as you are kind of taking this all in, in fact, as you're kind of taking this all in and kind of doing the 360 pan of again all these cliff walls, you know, because it kind of, once you get past the gap, it kind of opens up into this huge cove, but the cliffs are still kind of all surrounding this place, and you still see even more rope bridges and a couple of smaller stone bridges for some of the smaller gaps, but a lot of like rope bridges with wooden planks. You even see a couple that look like they're not, almost like they're not even man-made, like they're more grown, like an actual plant vine kind of crossing. Because sure enough, on one of the cliff sides, you do see there is a like a tree that looks like it's growing out of the cliff face that grows up, and its branches actually come out of the top of where the cliff face kind of meets the sky a little bit. And in fact, you do also see you see a it looks like a maybe a mansion kind of, or like a manor house, literally on its side, like it kind of sticking off of the cliff face, and then it seems to move for a moment as you realize that it seems to be attached to the back of a like a gargantuan spider that seems to be sort of shifting its weight a little bit, and then kind of seems to settle back down. But as you approach,
I do not like that.
as you approach the, sorry.
It's all good. I just said I'm glad Phoenix was not here for that.
As you approach the harbor master's office, and you do see there is a kind of a small stone building with some wooden kind of slats for a roof. Fairly rough hewn. You see there are two fairly large trolls that are just kind of standing outside. You see one sitting there kind of like, and they have like helmets on that have, it looks like it's like a metal helm, but it's got like a stamped imprint of like a either like a sun or a metal or an eye. You not 100% certain, but you do see they have it looks like a tin sign with letters stamped on it that does say City Watch, that they kind of hang, you know, off their necks like a medallion for them, but it would be like a medium-sized street sign for the rest of them.
It's like a full-size like stop sign on their chest.
Kind of, yeah.
Like the "Hey Idiot" stop signs.
And you see they just kind of, and they see you approach, and they're like, and you see one of them kind of bangs their fist against the walls and starts saying something. Do any of you speak Giant? Okay. And a few seconds later, you see something that most of you
Ryan, I do speak Giant. I apologize. It took me a second to find it, but I do.
Okay. Then you hear in Giant they say, "Boss, we got some newcomers." And a few moments later, you see this like wooden like clipboard, for lack of a better term, with several sheafs of parchment floating out, with a bottle and an ink and a quill also kind of floating out next to it, followed shortly by a spherical creature that seems to be floating in the air with one wide central eye on the front and several fleshy stalks coming off the top that also have individual eyes that seem to be looking around. And underneath its eye, you see a wide mouth. And you, in fact, see a creature that some of you in previous lifetimes may have encountered.
Oh, definitely.
But for the majority of you, have only heard of in whispers and nightmares and folktales, as you see what could only be described as a beholder kind of floating towards you. And
Don't like that.
and you see one of its eye stalks kind of looks at the ink quill, and you see the ink, the pen just kind of, it's like, names.
Okay. I'm Saral.
Sign here. You see the pen just kind of floats and points next to where your name is written.
Are you the harbor master we were supposed to see when we got here?
I am Bahatu.
Nice to meet you. Just signing in that I'm here.
Correct.
Not signing my life away or some awful weird thing.
No.
Cool. I let go of the pen, assuming it's going to continue floating.
Yeah, it just floats. Next. And proceeds to kind of go down the line with each of you. At some point, you see Fenrir climb out of the water. And then shake.
So I'll just not stand near him for that.
Much to the and you several people are like, what the hell? Like they're all kind of cursing a little bit. But you see Fenrir kind of looks at him and then just heads over towards you guys.
Did you have a good swim?
It was good.
Good
And
to
you
stretch
see
your legs.
When Fenrir says that, you see one of the eye stalks just kind of looks over at him and just kind of, just like, being that your friend does not have appendages capable of writing, would you be willing to sign on their behalf? Would you be okay with one of these individuals signing on your behalf?
Sarl just looks at Fenrir.
He just kind of, he huffs, but just kind of nods like, I will take that as an agreement. It's like, sign there. Welcome. You are now entering the city of Oddity. And granted, city is probably being generous, like maybe a large town. But What is your business?
General exploration and searching for friends who may have come this way.
Very well. Have you been here before?
Have any of you been here before? I don't want to lie.
Not in a very, very long time.
I have not been here before. No.
Ekra shakes his head, his eyes, like his already big field goal eyes, like even bigger.
Okay.
Yep.
Udema? No? Okay. No, none of us have been here before.
And what's kind of disturbing is like the central eye seems to be looking at the clipboard and kind of writing things, but you notice like several of the eye stalks are looking at each of you and like seem to shift focus, so it's still kind of looking at everyone even though it doesn't appear to be looking at everyone. It's kind of it's a very kind of unnerving, weird effect, as it seems very efficient in its ability to kind of do this. But,
like it's his job.
Right, so entry. The entry fee, since you are... Well, you'll probably fit in just fine. It says, kind of looking everyone up and down, including the wolf. Is like... But entry fees are 1 gold per person. I would... assuming you're paying for your friend as well?
Yeah. Thrall pulls out the money because everybody just gave her money on the boat.
Do you know the rules?
I would appreciate a review.
We prefer to keep a lawful town, at least as best we can. Understandably, those of us who live in these parts are not always looked on favorably, but we would ask that you keep your... Well, thievery is punishable by dismemberment, usually of the offending appendage. Murder is usually trafficked in kind, although there is a tribunal with the elders to determine the ultimate fate. Slavery is punishable by death, as we are all free people here. That being said, smaller petty crimes usually involve an amount of indentured servitude, but not to last more than a year's worth of time, depending on the severity, but usually for more petty offenses will last anywhere from a day or 2 to perhaps a week. It is very rare for it to be allowed. Well, there have only been very rare occurrences where it has lasted a full year, but the full year would be the maximum sentence, as no one is a slave here. And those that attempt to tread their wares here, and kind of looks up, and you see there is actually hanging beneath several of the buildings, you see there are several corpses, headless corpses, as point of fact, that look like they've been kind of strung up in sort of a in kind of like a, not quite a crow's cage, but something to definitely allow the body to be sort of splayed open and hanging for the different critters to pick away at. If you have any further questions, there are resources to ask. I believe our founder is Eddie is taking some... He prefers to be called Eddie as opposed to Edward.
Good to know.
He likes to think of himself as personable. I would say so. Although personally I feel he talks too much sometimes. Regardless, if you have any more other inquiries, you are and kind of you see the beholder kind of looks up and kind of looks like and kind of points with one of its eye sides, like that building there is Eddie's menagerie, as he likes to say. But if you have questions, that's probably your best. And if you do leave via the seaways, we would ask that you stop by the Harbor Master again. And I hope you have a pleasant stay. And with that, kind of turns around and floats back into the Harbor Master's quarters.
Thank you.
Chris kind of turns, just kind of side mouths to Wallen and whatever Fluffy, and says, "Did you say that we're going to get murdered for trading?"
Yeah, I was a little gray on that part too.
I admit I did not understand most of that.
I feel
Also, menagerie? Like there's no slavery, but what's he keeping as a menagerie?
Kai is now just heading towards Eddie's place.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
let's go talk to Eddie.
He just turns and starts walking in that direction.
Okay. So interestingly enough, it is a it's kind of a it takes a little bit of doing to get there because it's kind of a windabout path, because you have to like kind of go up some steps and then cross a bridge and then go through an area of one side and then like head over across another bridge and whatever. So it's kind of like you're zigzagging up the cliff face a little bit. And there are some open areas where you do see some people, various peoples congregating. And again, it's just a kaleidoscope of different beings. You see what you're, at any rate, you do get to what looks to be a kind of a brick building that again seems to be sort of built into the side of the cliff face, and sure enough, you see kind of made out of a wooden sign with letters made out of different animal shapes. You see just say Eddie's.
Is it like does it look like a storefront that you can just walk in, or is there a line? Like what?
It looks like I mean, the door on it is currently open. Granted, the temperature right now in this place feels a bit more not quite tropical, but definitely very comfortable. Probably, like right now, you're probably like mid-morning by the time you kind of get up, get through everything and get up there. You see, so I mean, it looks like it's maybe a shop. You see there's a door that is open. And inside you do hear little squawks and squeaks and whatnot, and different animal sounds as you kind of, I guess, poke your head in a little bit and do see that it looks like there's a lot of different cages with various different animals and critters, it looks like.
Kai's just walking in.
Okay. Now, the interesting thing is the building itself. Like, the building itself looks like a normal kind of human building in a, like what you'd see in Winterhold or Saul's Rest or whatever. But, like, the doorway is ginormous. Like, it's easily someone of the girth of like those trolls, could walk through without having to duck their head or what have you. And in fact, you see there are a lot of different storefronts or taverns or whatnot that you see as you've kind of wended your way through, that any of these more public areas tend to have large, wide open openings for the various folk to get through. And
walk in.
You walk in and you see there is a as you walk in, you see the animals kind of go from sort of a normal level of chirping and squeaks and squawks to like a more animated level of squeaks and squawks as you enter into the place. And you see, wearing a jacket, probably almost kind of like a, for lack of a better term, kind of a flamboyant sort of rainbow-colored kind of piratey jacket. Look as far as design and cut. You see this lizard folk kind of come waltz and is like, well, hello there.
Hello. Are you Eddie?
Point of fact, I am. How can I assist you? I don't believe I've seen you all here before. Oh, you look lovely.
We're new.
Oh, wonderful. May I ask, is your... And kind of points towards Fenrir. Is that someone's pet, or is that or someone? I just
Fenrir
want to
the
make sure
Blood
doesn't
Wolf
need merchandise.
Fenrir the Blood Wolf is nobody's pet. He will, however, however, not eat the merchandise if we ask him nicely.
Wonderful. Well then, how can I assist you?
Well, we had. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sorrel. I've been talking.
No, if you got this. It's okay. You can be face this time. Have fun. You got this, guy. You talk to people all the time. Or they talk to you. Or yeah, whatever. But you got this.
It's just because I'm usually taller than everybody in the room. We heard the spiel about what is and is not allowed in your city as we came in through the harbor, which is admirable. However, we just came from Solanel, where there appears to be a group of individuals operating some variety of slavery organization out of the southern coast. Now, we know they came to the Badlands somewhere. It seems, given your strict rules, that's unlikely they came through here, but all the same, we thought we'd inquire.
Well, this is definitely a concern. We are in some ways we continue to struggle to find our feet, so to speak. But there is one thing we all have in common. Many of us have come from a slavery background, which is why it is not tolerated at all here. I would like to discuss this further. I would like to find out more information. Please, if you will, come with me. Besides, I admit I'm a bit famished. I have not had a meal yet. Are you hungry?
I can generally say that most of us could eat, considering our last meal was hardtack and jerky, and the meal before that, and the meal before that, and the meal before that.
Oh boy, that'll never do. Yes, no, please, come. And kind of takes over. Now there are like different. I mean, it looks like a pet store basically. There's like different cages with different birds or squirrels or monkeys or whatever. And you see as Eddie's kind of going by, he's kind of cooling to them and feeding some and whatnot. You see there are some larger sort of tanks that have some well, there's one that's almost like an aquarium that has like some different fish and whatnot. But you do see as you kind of get past the pet area, so to speak, or the majority of the cages are, you see the back of the store is a much more open area that has a couple of different like sofas and some and it's very and like has a pile of pillows on one side and looks like it's kind of a little bit more bohemian-esque as far as a place to sort of hang out. You do see there is a desk that has looks like a ledger or something on it and a shuffle of papers and whatnot. And you see he just kind of gestures over towards the different seats and chairs and whatnot.
Find a seat that looks comfortable for my size and frame and sit in it.
Okay.
Eckers will sit down and look around tentatively.
So I'll find seating that does not make her like super shorter than everybody else in there sitting.
There's a high chair in a corner, just.
Not like that.
And you see Eddie
finds a seat and looks around.
Eddie just sits on a bunch of pillows.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely already kind of lower to the ground than some of you that sit in the different sofas or chairs, the kind of the mishmash of different furniture that's there. And you see he reaches over and it's like, do you prefer your food squiggling or?
I mean, that answer is going to depend on who you ask. I prefer cooked, but I'm guessing and he glances over at Fenrir. My companion would prefer it probably still mooing, if I'm being entirely honest.
And admittedly, when he says squiggling, you did see Fenrir's ears just kind of perk up a little bit, like, right. Right, and he gets a little like bell and rings it, and you see a couple of kobolds kind of come in from another room, and you start kind of hissing at them a little bit. If anyone speaks Draconic,
I do.
You hear him placing an order for like some sandwiches and some probably a bottle or two of ale or something, or wine, whatever they have, whatever Ignatius has, and deliver be swift. And they kind of nod like, okay, boss, and they head off. And he says like, your food will be along then shortly. Do you mind if I eat? Like I said, I'm a bit peckish.
By all means.
And kind of reaches over and flips open this like cloth covering of this wired mesh screen, where you see there are several guinea pigs that are immediately squeaking in terror, kind of trying to run off. And proceeds to reach in and grab one, and then looks down at it, looks at Fenrir sitting there. Just and then like tosses one to Fenrir, gobbles it up, probably quite tasty, and then proceeds to grab another one and then eats it. Kind of doing that little. Oh goodness! I admit that It's right exactly where it needs to be. Well, you were mentioning. So my apologies. So yes, please. What questions I guess do you have? And please tell me more about these slavers you encountered.
Chris skittishly raises his hand, and then sheepishly asks, we saw some bodies, and the harbor master said that it was they traded in wares. Were those wares slaves?
Oh yes. Truthfully, the only true the most heinous of crimes usually involves the murder of the individual. That is the tribunal of the elders of the town or decide that it warrants that severe punishment. But it's typically only reserved for murderers, the occasional rapist, and not that there are many, but slavers. Well, you said you were from Solomon?
Yes.
So admittedly, you may not know, but Oddity is one of the few ports on the borders of the Badlands, as they are referred to, that is a relatively neutral port. That is, arms are open to all. And while I cannot say we are entirely without danger, we are probably the safest haven you come across in the Badlands in terms of civility. That being said, sometimes we come across, sometimes even those of ill repute that decide to try to traffic in slavery will risk either smuggling people into our town to then try to offload them, or will attempt in the few coves that are near our bustling metropolis here to attempt to drop them off there before them coming into port. Now, admittedly, we do have to typically catch them in the act before we will necessarily inflict such a harsh punishment. So, and we do have some patrols and investigators that will keep an eye on some of these coves and outlets, but if their ship is empty of slaves, then some slavers will come here to resupply, and provided they are not caught in the act, will have an eye kept on them, so to speak, but will allow them to ultimately allow them to pursue whatever agenda they can here under the rules. But admittedly, we are a place where those who do not want to be found typically go to hide.
The group we encountered seemed to be predominantly made up of goblinoids and seemed to be guided by barghasts.
Oh. Well, that is a thing. Actually, we did come across a group of individuals. These Barghast creatures, I'm a little bit familiar with them. They pretend to be goblins, but are actually kind of horrible looking beings. And we did catch a few of them in fact, attempting to sneak into the city. Their remains have been most recently strung up, I believe, over... yes, over there. What did the little one say his name was? Raggle. That's right. Raggle Ankle Twister, I think was his name. Very catchy, I suppose, for a goblin name. Not that I know a ton of goblins, I admit. But I believe that one was actually one of the ringleaders of their little band, and I believe got a bit greedy in trying to offload some wares. While we did catch that one, and several of his little goblin minions, some of the bar guests were able to escape as they had abilities to disappear. Quite frustrating.
Do you know where they make their home?
In general, no. But you could ask.
I thought he was dead.
Oh, my apologies. So yes, the goblin is very much dead. As you can see, and you see kind of points up, and you see a little goblin, headless goblin body. Just kind of swaying in the breeze.
We seem to have some sort of miscommunication. How can I ask him if he is in fact dead?
Oh. My apologies. I'm sorry. I forgot that you are newcomers here. And you see about roughly about this time, you see the kobolds kind of coming back carrying a bunch of kind of wrapped in kind of a wax paper kind of thing. A bunch of your guessing maybe like the equivalent of a sub sandwich kind of thing. Start handing them out. And he offers up a little bit of wine and stuff too. He's like, "Oh no, so I apologize. We have a bit of a deal the city does with our undertaker, Des. In those circumstances where corporal punishment is required, then Des is allowed how you should say the head of the individual is a bit of a I don't know, a trophy, whatnot. Admittedly, Des is a strange individual. Doesn't like to say much, but speaks to the different heads in his possession. And for that small nominal fee, he is allowed that he then takes care of body disposal for those that normally pass on and shuffle loose the smoke coil.
Then it seems we should talk to Des.
This is fascinating.
Well, I hope you enjoy yourselves here. If you have any questions, of course, I'm always welcome to have visitors and would love to hear your tales. Perhaps maybe drinks tonight if you're so inclined, although I don't want to impede your business if you have other things you need to accomplish.
With the captain we just sailed in with was hoping to have drinks with us this eve as well.
Which ship did you sail in on?
Captain Giuseppe was our who carried us forth.
Oh, yes, that charmer.
I have one very. It should be obvious by now, but quick clarifying question. If my friend Tink here decides to sell some jewelry, she's not going to get strung up because there's only people wares that got you strung up, correct?
You're allowed to sell legal wares,
okay,
so to speak. AKA, we prefer. Well,
like
we prefer, obviously, slavery, as we aforementioned, But no, if you have any personal wares that you wish to sell, there is a bazaar that is probably going to be your best and least expensive way to sell such things. If you're intending to vend as yourself, granted, if you decide that you wish to stay here, you could. There are some small licensing fees and whatnot, but there is a possibility of starting your own business. We do encourage small business ownership in our budding metropolis.
I think we might be being more temporary as we're trying to stop slavers specifically. But who knows? Maybe we'll love it here.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that, selling like glass blown bottles and jewelry and that we don't want to break rules.
Oh no, those types of things are a wonderful addition to our busy merchant district. And if your goal is to chase down these slavers, I would definitely be interested in discussing such things with you more. As I said, our town is above all things, we are very strong of the opinion that each individual should be free to pursue their goals and dreams as they like, provided it does not harm another.
We're also hoping to find the slaves they made off with. Well, they're not slaves. The people they plan to enslave. We're hoping to find them as well. To free them back up again.
Well, then I think Des is exactly the type of person you would speak with. They have the ability to, shall you say, get the words from the corpse's mouth, as it were.
Thank you for the food.
Well, we like to be welcoming. And if you need a meal, if this meal just doesn't seem to fit your palate, and kind of grabs another guinea pig and chucks it for Fenrir, who gobbles it. Again, like you don't know if Fenrir tasted it, but like
just
there it went.
It was a pleasure meeting all of you. Yeah, of course, wheeling guinea pig that.
Oh God! Let's hope Peter doesn't see this stream.
To anybody who has guinea pigs as they own as pets, my apologies. Eddie has no such apology though.
Kai will inquire as to where they can find Dez.
Dez's abode is actually at the on the very outskirts of town, up at the top of the escarpment. There are a handful of individuals that make their some of our city dwellers don't react as well to heights, or if there are businesses such as a tanner or whatnot that tends to make a stink, as it were. They tend to be more up top and out of view. Burials is one of those such businesses.
That makes sense.
Understood. He will stand, kind of bow, eat the sandwich in 2 bites, and then head for the door.
Okay.
I gotta tell you, it is late enough that I am starting to drift off. So if we
we can call it there. To be quite honest, that's as good a spot as any. Because it's late for us. I mean, it won't be late for you watching when you watch it, I'm guessing. But
yeah.
But that's a good a spot as any, and then that'll be actually a good. Also a good spot for when we hopefully get Tick back with us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Eddie. Bye, Eddie.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. The next time you see our faces, we will be live unless the weird things happen. So this is going to drop, and then I believe Saturday the 1st, and then the following week, Saturday, which would be our next scheduled game, we will be live. So,
Okay.
So this
what's that?
the internet provider to give you the new things?
I managed to beat Xfinity into submission.
There you go.
So, anyway, we will be back. We will be back in a week. All things working the way I hope they will. Hopefully, we will have a tink. And we will see you all next time. Bye.